Thank you for tuning in today to learn more about the benefits of API Spec Q1 and Q2 certification for your company. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Oscar Combs and I'm the Senior Consultant here at the ISO 9001 Group. Our company focuses on providing consulting, auditing, and training for organizations to help them improve their operations and reduce their risk through their management systems. I personally have 20 years of experience in the area of quality and HSE management systems. I've led organizations such as Neighbors Industries and Fugro in the quality area. As part of the ISO 9001 group, I've had the privilege of working for such organizations as Transocean, Hewlett-Packard, the Department of Veteran Affairs, Cameron, Halliburton, and many other medium and small size organizations throughout the U.S. I've been able to acquire invaluable knowledge and experience in working with these organizations. And I've also been very successful in achieving API Q1 and Q2 certifications for our clients, and also getting them monogram licensing for various product specifications as well. I'm a senior member of the American Society for Quality, and I also served as the programs chair for that organization as well. And I continue to conduct keynote speakings for various organizations. And so as I talk to you today about the benefits of API, I want you to know that information is coming from a point of real life experience, and I hope that I'm able to give you some knowledge today that will help your organization along its path to improve its operations and reducing its risk. Talk a little bit about the administration of this session here. We ask that you are in a quiet location without any background noise, so if you have any applications, radios, things like that would distract others, we ask that you turn those off. Please mute your phone in the user panel if you have any background noise. Also ask that you place your phones on vibrate and close any other applications that you may have open on your computer that may make noise. I may elect to mute you as an individual, or I may have to remove you from the session if you are not able to mute yourself, because most importantly we want everyone to have a pleasant experience here and be able to get some information. We also want you to get involved. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type those questions in the chat window, and at the end of this presentation I will be answering your specific questions that you may have. So let's get into talking about some of the benefits of API Spec Q1 and Q2. Specifically, these specifications were designed for those working in the oil and gas industry. So if you are a manufacturer to the oil and gas industry, or if you provide services to the oil and gas industry, API Spec Q1 and Q2 is for your organization. Some of the main benefits that you get out of implementing an API Q1 or Q2 system: it makes your company more marketable. So there's something about having that API certificate. If you are trying to get on the approved vendors list, it allows you to market yourself as being an API shop or having an API monogram license, and right away that gives your organization credibility in the products that you manufacture or the services that you provide. And it also gives you the ability to stand out from your competitors. Now this is a very competitive market, especially with the downturn, and so it's important for organizations to put themselves in a position where they stand out from their competitors. And API Spec Q1 certification or Q2 certification will do that for you. Also gives you the ability to improve your customer satisfaction of your customers. Your customers, they want the extra level of assurance and confidence that your organization can provide the quality products and services that they want from you. And also, having this system provides a foundation for your company to grow. So your company cannot grow if you don't have a strong foundation, if you don't have controls in place, if you don't have a management system. So the management system is very important for growth, and it also gives you the ability to adapt quickly as the market changes. You can quickly adapt your processes or your procedures to accommodate the market or to take advantage of changes in the market. But if you don't have a system, you're not able to move nimble like that. It also gives you the ability to increase your profitability. And ultimately in business, we know that it's all about increasing the profit. Now, I've talked to you about how the certification will help you increase the revenue side, but on the expense side, it will help your organization reduce the rework involved in manufacturing your parts. It will help you reduce the scrap that's generated. It will help you increase on-time deliveries to your customers. It will allow you to have better controls on your supply chain where they're not adding mistakes into your process. More efficiency. All these things translate into better profitability, therefore meaning reducing your cost of operations. The other benefit that I want to talk to you about is the benefit of increased efficiency. Now, a lot of waste and scrap or even rework is simply due to maybe people doing things out of sequence or not understanding what to do, not understanding what the specifications are. And so this is the benefit of having an API system, is that it allows you to define what the proper sequence is and allows you to implement or put controls in place to prevent people from doing things out of sequence. Many organizations get in trouble simply because they put, if you will, the cart before the horse. And when you do that, that causes rework and scrap for your organization. Another thing that it does is it allows you to reduce the risk in your organization. The Q1 and Q2 specs are really all about helping organizations reduce risk in your operation. If you recall the BP blowout, all these standards, the Q1 was totally revised and the Q2 was introduced for service companies to address some of the risk management concerns that's in the industry at the moment. And it also gives us the ability to focus on continual improvement. So get out of the firefighting mode and gives us the ability to think ahead so that we can focus on continual improvement within our organization. Now let's talk about the area of continuous versus continual improvement. Continuous improvement is where you respond to crisis in your organization. So you have a problem, you make a correction. Everybody goes back to normal. You have another problem, you make another correction or improvement. And then everybody kind of settles down and goes back to normal. And so many organizations are kind of running their business like this on a daily basis. And it causes inefficiency and you're only looking for improvement, or you only get to the next level in response to a crisis. The API program or certification, the focus is on continual improvement. Continual improvement is where your organization is always looking for areas of improvement. How can we improve our process? How can we improve this procedure? How can we improve our backlog? How can we improve our manufacturing processes? How can we improve our supply chain? But we're looking at these things proactively and not in response to a specific incident. And so it's all about being more proactive, and having a system gives you the ability to do that. Now, API Q1 and Q2 was specifically designed for two types of organizations. Q1 was designed for manufacturing organizations. So if you are a manufacturer, if you're a machine shop, a fab shop, if you repair equipment or refurbish equipment, API Spec Q1 is for your organization. Now, API Specification Q2 was specifically designed for service supply organizations, where in the past, service companies were pretty much forgotten about. Now, service companies have a specification that they can use. So if you are a drilling contractor, service company, inspection or testing services company, equipment rentals, coatings, welding, any of these types of organizations, you may have provide other services to the oil and gas industry. Beyond these listed here, API Q2 would be for your organization. The good thing about API is that it's very similar to ISO. And you can see here in this matrix all of the requirements of ISO 9001 and API Spec Q1 and Q2. And if you put them side by side, you can see that most requirements go all across all three of them. Some of the things that are specific to API that you don't get in an ISO system, or shall I say in an ISO 2008, but it will be in the ISO 2015 version of the standard, which is projected to be released in September of 2015. You get the areas of risk assessment and contingency planning. That is very specific to Q1 and Q2 at the moment. But as I mentioned, it will also be in the 2015 version of ISO 9001. So as we look at the next slide here, we see that pretty much everything else goes all across all three of these standards, with the exception again of management of change. Management of change is again specific to API Q1 and Q2. I wanted to show you that because if an organization is already ISO 9001 certified, they are 90% in compliance with API certification. And so it gives you the ability to further differentiate yourself from your competitors. And so if your organization is currently ISO 9001 certified, you should seriously consider pursuing API certification, specifically if your customer base is oil and gas. So you may want to know if API Q1 and Q2 certification is right for your organization. And so I'm going to ask you 5 questions. And if your answer is yes to any of these questions, API certification is right for you. The first one is, does your organization provide products or services to the oil and gas industry? If that answer is yes, API Q1 or Q2 certification is right for you. Number 2, Are you looking to attract more lucrative customers? So are you looking to increase your revenues by attracting bigger and more lucrative customers? If that answer is yes, or maybe you're trying to become more diverse in your customer base. If that answer is yes, API Q1 and Q2 certification is right for you. Are you already ISO 9001 certified? If that answer is yes, this is right for you, specifically if your customers are oil and gas. Do you want to improve your processes? If that answer is yes, API Q1 and Q2 is right for your organizations. Are you looking to reduce risk within your operation? If you've answered yes to this question, API Q1 and Q2 certification is right for you. So I want you to sit back and think about this as you think about this over the upcoming days, and think about these questions. And if you've answered yes to any of them, you should really consider pursuing API Q1 or Q2 certification if your customers are oil and gas, in the oil and gas industry. Now, this is really a time where companies are looking to reduce risk. We all know about the big BP blowout that occurred. And so all of those organizations, many of you probably make parts, seals, valves, studs, BOP components, different parts that were all maybe used on, in drilling, on drilling rigs, in refineries, in pipelines. So the things that you do can prevent these types of events if done right. And so organizations are looking to reduce the risk within their supply chain, because we don't want another incident like this. It can't happen again. And so what procurement departments are doing is that they're looking at their approved vendor list. They're scrutinizing that list. They're trying to see who is ISO certified, who is API certified, what companies don't have any systems in place. Those companies that do not have any systems in place will very soon be deleted off the approved vendor list, or your customers will be contacting you and encouraging you, or shall I say strongly encouraging you to pursue some type of management system. And so if you want to ensure that you remain on your customers' approved vendors list, or if you want to get on more approved vendor lists, you want to pursue API Spec Q1 and Q2 certifications for your company. It's a major benefit for you. Now, these are the steps to certification. It doesn't take as long as many people think. It takes about 5 months from start to finish. So our process that we have defined to help our clients, and as I've indicated earlier, has proven to be very effective and has resulted in a 100% certification rate for our clients. So we start off with a gap analysis, a 2-day gap analysis. It's where we come in and figure out how you stack up to the requirements of API Spec Q1 and Q2 today. Now, if you are already ISO certified, we can even bypass this gap analysis because we already know where you are. After that, we're able to design your documentation for you. It takes us about 4 weeks to do that. Now, if your organization is already ISO certified, this is just a matter of us modifying your documentation. So the time frame for that will probably be cut in half into about 2 weeks. And we don't just design template documents. We want to provide something to our clients that's going to work for them. So we really work on trying to customize the documents and build something that's going to fit your organization. Once we design your documents, we'll provide some training for you on how to properly implement your system. If you're totally new to this world of management systems, you don't need to be intimidated by it. We will provide you with some training. If you're already familiar with it, we'll provide the training regarding the specific things that were added to your system. So if you're an ISO company today, we will simply provide you some training regarding the API elements that were added to your system. And then you would have to implement your system over a 4-month period. That's the minimum time required by API. And then we will support you throughout the 4 months. We have bi-weekly meetings with our clients so that we can walk them through any challenges that they're having, so that they have confidence in what they're doing. And then we will come out and do a pre-certification audit. Spend about 2 or 3 days with you, making sure that the system is properly implemented and catching any things before the certification audit by API. Then after we finish that, we will go out and do the API application for you, get all that set up in the API system, and then API will contact you and to coordinate the certification audit. And they'll come out for about 2 or 3 days as well. But our goal in the pre-certification audit is to be very proactive and address issues in your system before API comes out. And this has been proven to give us the ability to for our clients to have a very smooth certification audit, where many of our clients have had 0 to very few findings during the stage 1 and stage 2 audits. And so this is the typical process that you can expect over a 5-month period in your pursuit of API certification. Now, as I've indicated, your system must be in place for 4 months. You have to have a quality manual, you have to have other documentation, you have to do a complete internal audit, you have to complete a management review that must be documented. And all these things we'll submit and help you with, and submit these things with your application. API will perform a documentation review of the system, and then they'll also do an on-site audit at your facility. And after that, you'll get your certification, and every year they'll come out to do a surveillance audit. If you choose to do a monogramming license, they'll come out every 3rd year for that. Okay, and just like your ISO certification, your API Spec Q1 and Q2 certification has to be renewed every 3rd year. The typical costs for your certification are driven by a couple of factors. First is driven by the scope of your registration, meaning what kind of organization, what kind of products do you manufacture, or what kind of services do you provide. It's also driven by the number of sites you have, number of shifts, number of employees, the size of your facility. Because API must factor in all of these things in trying to determine how many auditors that they need to send to your location. Now, you can choose to go along this path alone and spend a lot of money and time, or you can elect to do like many other of our clients as well that have chosen the ISO group to help them provide consultations services to help them design and develop their system and even implement it. Now the cost for that is somewhere around $15,000 to $20,000. And you have to look at this cost as an investment in your organization. The other cost that you need to be aware of is the certification costs. That will cost you anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per site. Okay, and then another $2,000 to $4,000 per year to maintain your certification. And so you're probably looking at a total cost of around $18,000 to $25,000 initially, and then $4,000 every year after that. But you have to look at this as an investment for your organization. And so I want us to kind of look at this and try to see what kind of return would you be able to get off of that $25,000. So if you look at getting a 20% return on that $25,000 investment and that annual cost of $4,000, that will yield a return of around $87,600 over a 5-year period, which means your initial investment of your $25,000 would be recouped in the first 16 months. So you'll get that $25,000 that we talked about, you're going to get that back in the first 16 months of your operation. Now you can see this chart and you can see how that all breaks down. But you're saying, Oscar, well, how will I get this $25,000 back, or how will I get this yield of $87,000 back over a 5-year period? Good question. So I broke it down for you. We're going to get that 20% return back in first. 8% of that is going to come from your increase in revenues, meaning being able to attract bigger clients, being able to become more marketable, possibly even able to increase your prices. Because with higher quality it comes at a cost. But just the fact, even if you did increase your costs, just the fact that you are API certified will give you the ability to increase your market share and also your revenues. The other gain that you will be receiving is about 5% you're going to pick up from efficiency. Meaning we're going to do things quicker, we're going to get things out quicker, processes will be running efficiently. All of that we're going to pick up. So that's going right to the bottom line to your organization. We're going to also recover in the area of rework, about 4%. So if you are having to rework a lot of parts because things are not set up properly, or your suppliers are not providing you with the right material, the fact that you have controls in place and systems in place will help you reduce your rework. And we're going to say around 4%. In reducing your rework is going to reduce your scrap. Okay, about 3%. And so if things are done more efficiently and you're having to do less rework, is going to reduce your scrap rate. And you guys can go back and plug these numbers into your own organizations. You understand what your P&L looks like, and so you can look at your revenues and put the increase by 8%. You can look at your wasted time. There's things in your chart of accounts that you can look at that you can tie directly to efficiency. You can increase those by 5%. You can look at your rework, parts that you're having to rework, extra time that machinists have to go through, extra time in the setup. You got to run that machine again. You got to consume all of that, all of those consumables again to run your machines. All the electricity that comes into it, the time and all these things we talked about. You guys can factor this 4% reduction in that. That's going to drop all the way back down to your bottom line to increase your profitability. You guys can also, you will be able to calculate the amount of scrap that you're generating today, and with more efficiency and less rework, that number is going to go down as well. So you can plug all of those numbers in, and you'll really get a more specific number of what your specific return will be for this investment of pursuing API Q1 and Q2 certification. And as I've indicated, just go back to that slide again. You can attempt to pursue this on your own, which I would not recommend, because people come to us after they have done this. They've spent maybe 2 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars pursuing it, and then they finally get exhausted, and then they come to us, and we're able to help them in 5 months to get it done. Because you don't want to waste time and money in this process. It can become very expensive. So I want to encourage you, if you want to go along this path, seek out a consultation of experts who know the areas that you can avoid, and know how to get you there quickly, efficiently, on time, and on budget. Okay, so hopefully you understand or see the actual financial benefits that API can bring to you, or the certification can bring to you. Tell you a little bit more how we can help you. So we can help your organization design and develop a fully customized system for you. And as I've indicated, it's going to take about 5 to 6 months. And once that system is developed, we're going to provide that training I talked about. And once it's in place, we're going to come out, do an internal audit, make sure that you're ready. We're going to work to help you correct anything, any findings that you have. We're going to coordinate all the activities with API. So basically, all you'll have to do is to kind of sit back and implement the system. All the heavy lifting will be done by us. If that interests you, I want to encourage you to reach out to me. Contact me at ocombs, OCOMBS, at ISO9001group.com, and we can talk about it, and I'll get a proposal out to you on how we can help you meet your needs. As I've indicated, we have a 100% certification success rate, and that'll be the same result for your organization. And so don't wreck your brain. Go ahead, relax, and let us help you with this process so that your company can achieve all the benefits that we've already talked about. Tell you a little bit about the ISO 9001 group. I'm the founder and senior consultant of the company, and we have a strong team of people helping us here at the company, and you can see their experience. Combined, we have over 150 years of experience that will be coming into your organization. Our consultants and trainers are certified through Exemplar, through ASQ, some even through API as well. And so all of that will be coming in to help your organization. Seasoned experts. Some of these guys here on the team are small business owners, or were small business owners. They work with API. They do audits for API. They understand how API works. And so all of that would be coming in to your organization. So let us put our experience to work for you. Our mission here is to help your organization manage your risk and improve your operations through your management systems. That's what we wake up every day to do for your organization. Here are a few clients that we've worked for. And as you look at these logos here, you'll see some names you recognize. But we want to assure you, I want to assure you, that you are the most important client. When we work on our client's project, they are the most important client. So we don't care how big a company is, how small a company is. They all get a high level of attention from us and a high level of service from everyone on our team. We also would ask that you like and follow us. You can go to our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, and you'll find us on YouTube. What we try to do is to provide free information to you that's going to help your organization better improve its operations and reduce its risk through its management systems. And so that's the whole purpose of us posting tips, posting videos, things of that nature, so that you can go out there, have a resource coming from experts in the field that you can go right back in and translate those into results in your company. So if you are interested in anything that we talked about today, if you're interested in pursuing API Q1 certification, if you're an equipment manufacturer, if you're interested in pursuing API Spec Q2 certification, if you provide services to the oil and gas industry, contact us. You can go to our website at www.iso9001group.com. You can call us. Call us at 281-402-6800, or you can email us at info@iso9001group.com, and we will be happy to talk to you about how we can help your organization improve its operations and reduce its risk. Thank you for attending this session. We look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.